Okay, I want to say hello again everybody, it's only me, Wushu Richard. In this video, I'm going to be talking about something really epic, something great. It's not something new, I mean this is really old, but it's the use of charts. Okay, I'm talking about charts, like I'm going to show you in this video. Basically, you can make all kinds of charts, diagrams, graphs, whatever you want to call them, and like all kinds of plans and written plans and things, not enough of us are doing them right on a daily basis. So people aren't writing out plans enough, I feel. They're not organising their lives excuse me, enough. Now, I myself am a creative person, as I say. I like to some of you may not know this, but I do have other channels, other channels on YouTube. Like I've got a cartoon channel where I make my own cartoons and animations. I do my own writing. I write my own scripts, short stories, scripts. I make my own animated cartoon shows too. Just simple stuff like from my imagination. I've always been like a creative person, and I like to create. But this is the thing, I mean, there's people in the world all around who don't have, first off, enough organisation in their lives, and secondly, there's people that go around and say that they don't have any imagination, inspiration or anything like that, and they really don't have any imagination as such. So what I want to say, okay, in this video is I'm just going to talk about these kind of graphs and charts. Now you've seen all different kinds, like spidergrams, star charts, pie charts, all these different kind of things, mind maps, or whatever you want to call them, But there's basically different ways you can do them. There's like so many ways. There's probably infinite ways of doing them, because the charts themselves imply infinite and unlimited ways of working your mind to be organised, to organisation, So the ways they can be used with infinity and the unlimitedness of anything also implies charts themselves. You could make charts for charts even, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can make charts for charts. Basically, so what I'm saying is I'm gonna show you a chart which I've just made it up on the computer, and I'm going to talk about that chart, and I'm also going to talk about charts similar to this and other charts too. Now, don't put this aside as like a boring video. Please excuse the noise outside, okay, too, the distractions, and I've got the window open in here. But yeah, I hope you don't put this to the side as such. What I'm saying here, because this is something you could take account of. You could take this in, and it could really help you in your life. And I believe it can help anyone making charts like this. Now, first of all, I want to mention that there are programs out there, like for computers, like for making charts. Like you can be creative and do them on various different softwares or methods on your computer. You can even do them in Excel and stuff. But I didn't do this one in Excel. But again, you can draw charts on paper too, and just do them on paper. First of all, let's look at my chart, okay? I'll show you my chart now. Okay, so my chart is a very simple chart, but as you can see, it spreads out and it branches out from the centre. So in the centre of the chart, you have your main topic, okay? So of course, in these empty boxes, you can type anything. You can type anything in the boxes, okay? For example, in the centre of the chart, you'd have your main topic, or the mother topic, let's say, and then branching out on the into the other boxes or bubbles, or however you're going to do this thing, like a spider chart, graph, or whatever you want to do. You'll have other subtopics that come from that. Okay, let's say for example, you may choose school as your centre topic in the middle. Then what you'd do is you'd branch out from around the word school. You would have words. You could have anything. You could have words, sentences, questions, answers, problems, you name it, anything. It could be photos of people, it could be drawn pictures, it could be other mini charts, it could be anything. Okay, you could written down problems that you want to fix, for example, and then you could talk about how to deal with those problems. You see, you could go to absolutely anything, and I'm going to give you a lot of examples in this video. So yeah, as I said, you could have your centre word could be school, for example, and then you'd think of words. Let's keep it simple and say words. It could be sentences, but we're just going to have words, and we could say, for example, you would have words branching out from school. You might think of students, teachers, or maybe subjects that you learn in school. It could be, you know what I mean? It could be rooms, a classroom. It could be, the dinner hall, or whatever it could be. Yeah. School rules. It could your centre topic could even be school rules. Or you could have, then you could talk about the good and bad of each rule, and this and that. So what you could have anything. Now, let's look at this again. I'm not going to, it's infinite. It's literally infinite. You could do it the way I've done it. You can see here. Please excuse the noise. You see how I've used colours to make it more easier to look at. Okay. And colour coding is, you could do it that way. You could have numbers, letters. That could be more confusing. You could make this thing even more deeper. You could have, as I've said, graphs branching out into other graphs. There are things called the snowflake principle, where what you can use for making stories. If you are writing a novel, let's say, with the characters, the places, whatever, and you could branch this thing out, and it's like the branches of a tree, You got the root, which and then the main storyline, and then it branches out, and then the fruit from that, And so this is this is really to do with nature again, So anyway, it's up to you how you would do it. My chart here isn't the most perfect one. It's just a rough thing I've put together, and you'll see how I've got one centre space for the centre topic. Then I've got spaces around. I've got boxes around that, which will be other subtopics, and then you'll see that further branching out, I've made it so that each one has got a few spaces, 4 more spaces to topics for each topic. So each topic branches out into topics, which also branch out into topics. So you see what I'm saying? How it just gets more and more. You could go in infinitely. You could go on and make it more deeper. You have questions, answers, possibilities of anything. So you could use this for organising your life. You could write down the problems you have to go through in your life, your daily problems or your goals. You could organise your life. You could do one for health, fitness training. Family problems, your love, your relationship, what you want. You could if you were trying to turn your life around. Let's say if you were someone that was addicted to drugs or something, and the things that are getting in your way, or you could do it to do with your job, your work, your studies. If you're a student, for your organisation or your company, charts like this can be used to get you to let you see a more clearer picture on the whole, and know how to work with that, because you're able to see simply how to work with everything. Now let's go to something else. Let's go more deeper, okay? You could make this really deep, such as each box, each subtopic could be like a file. It could be like an absolute deep thousands of pages of information. It could be novels. You know what I mean? It could be a whole massive database as such. You know what I mean? But also, you could make this really simple. You could do a daily routine plan. You could have in the middle would be the title being daily routine, or something like that, and you could have the times, the boxes spread out, could be like morning, lunchtime, afternoon, nighttime, or and you could it's up to you how many you can have or how less, and then you can write down how you're going to use that time. You can organise anything, your shopping, or what you're going to eat, or what exercises you're going to do if you're doing like a fitness program. Now, as I said, I'm a creative person. I like to create. I make my own cartoons. I do some writing, like stories and stuff. Now, if you want to write a novel or a story or something like that, or a script, this is it. You can do something like this, or a plan, something similar to this. Of course, you write your script and stuff. There's good software out there. There's a free software you can get, which is called Celtx. Okay, CELTX, for writing scripts, which is great. But whatever you use, I'm just saying, you can get if you're sitting there and you've got no idea, be it if you're a writer or if you're anyone trying to organise your life, if you've got no imagination, no ideas, you can start with some ideas like this. Now, this particular chart is just one chart that I've made here, one basic one. Now, the centre topic, okay, the centre topic could be just one of many. So by that what I mean is, this whole chart could be something which has branched off from another. Let's say, for example, this whole chart you're looking at now, which is it could be seen as a fairly small chart, not only complicated, but this whole chart you're looking at could be one of, let's say, 10 charts. And each of the 10 charts would have been branching out from another centre word in the middle, let's say. You see what I'm saying? Or it could be another whole chart. So you could have an infinite number of charts spreading out from charts. But the idea is not to simply, as such, get yourself confused and complicate yourself. It's supposed to organise. It's to make yourself be able to organise yourself more better, have a better imagination, so that you're able to perform better and create better in this life. And you can't do that if you can't see clearly, and if your life is too complex. You've got lots to think about. Now, please understand me. Please forgive me for that noise outside. It's very, very noisy outside my window around this time. It's about rush hour, around about that. But yeah, this is a video I wanted to make, and I will make more videos like this, showing different examples of how to use charts like this or similar to this. Okay. So now, let's say, for example, if you wanted to make a martial arts chart, one of my favourite subjects, you could simply write that in the middle. You could write in the middle martial arts, or a style like karate or whatever, and then you could branch out around that, and in each bubble or each box you could write something like defense, attack, stances, things like that, or principles, things like this, like exercises. And then from those you could also branch out further into various ones. For example, attacks. You might, let's say the attacking moves, maybe one of the branches that you could branch out further from that and say which kind of attacks, kicks, punches, strikes, or different various techniques. You could make a whole thing about health. You could use the human body, talk about health, the bones in the body, or the whatever you would like to talk about. The days of a week, a whole calendar type plan for your whole year, what you want to get done by next January or February, or whatever, for example, you could have a whole plan for that by using a chart like this. And a chart like this can motivate you and inspire you too, and it really can, because you can use anything. You could organise yourself in such a way. You could have a challenge chart where you give yourself certain challenges and things like that. You could even use it to motivate yourself for your health. Let's say you start off fairly weak and thin, like me. I'm just joking, okay? I'm not weak and thin. I'm slim and strong. No, I'm just saying. I'm not the most biggest, toughest guy. Let's say if you started off very thin and you wanted to build yourself up to be big and strong, like a bodybuilder, then you could work through the months on a regiment of training, militarize yourself, train really hard as such, physically, and exercise, you could see how many repetitions of a certain exercise, or how much weight you can lift. If you're lifting weights over the months and build it up as you go along, and you could set a whole year plan out and see this time next year where you're at. You can also make there's things like, you've got like different programs out there, really good programs too, but there's things like, PowerPoint too, but you could do something like that with like videos or photos, and take photos or video clips or audio clips or whatever, writing and arrange those even in certain ways. But this is really for writing though. Now, if you wanted to draw a picture and you didn't know how to start off, and you wanted to draw the most complex, amazing picture, or let's say you wanted to make a movie, let's go on to movies, right? If you wanted to, it's the same as writing a script, then you can plan out each scene better. You might start off with a film idea. Let's say you're writing a movie like 007, or some superhero film. You might start off with the title. You might start off with, or it might be just one part, one area of the film, which could be focusing on the action scenes. You could say action scenes in the centre, and then you could spread out, and you can think about some images in your mind, which ones you want to use. You can change them at any time. Don't forget, and take away some, add more. For example, you could have like a fight scene on a boat. You could have a car chase. You could have a shootout. And then from there you'd branch out, and from each one you would work how to use them. For example, if it's a fight scene, you might want to go through every single move, or important moves, or special effect scenes. Or if it was a car chase, let's say, if one of those if you had action in the middle, action scene, and then one of the branches would be a car chase, then you might go to that and then branch out further and talk about the car chase and which elements of the car chase there will be, and then figure out which order they'll be in. For example, he skids around the corner, jumps over a river, the motorbike jumps over a river, let's say. Then the next part might be with machine gun shooting, firing, and it speeds underneath a bridge, let's say. Dust sprays everywhere, you could be working that out, and it helps you to really envision these kind of scenes and create it. You might be a very good drawer, artist, but you might not be a very good storyteller or script writer, but you might want to, that's what might be holding you back, but you don't realise that you do have the creative talent in you to create masterpieces, and you can go really deep. You may come up with something that's so big and enormous that it's too much, and you'll start wanting to chop pieces off and stuff from your charts and arranging it different. You may even realise that it gets so big, or there are so many possibilities, and there literally are infinite possibilities, which shows the same for our whole lives, that ultimately you could use something like this, and you could end up like having separate branched off stories. You know what I mean? It's like a superhero, like what's his name? Like one of these famous artists who like create superheroes. You may end up finding out that there are whole worlds to be created from these different superheroes. You might end up having multiple ideas, multiple branched off ideas for different novels or something like that. Comic books, films, whatever you want to make. Cartoons, real life action movies. You could make your own plan for a TV series and work out the whole season, every episode and series, from that, every scene. You could organise your life, excuse me, in a way that you could organise cooking from this. You could write down different cooking techniques, and different food. You could plan an album if you're making music, if you're a musician. You could work out different possible lyrics or words that fit in, maybe a rap, like I like to do my rap sometimes, as you know, but you could do it really, really good, and work it and plan it out good. Other things you can do too is link the subtopics, the surrounding topics, from whichever layer to, or that's another thing, layers too you could work with. You could go really deep with these things. This is just a simple one I've made here, but you could make it so that you draw lines from one side to the other, and they crisscross, and things can get really, really interesting. And if you picture this here as a 2D chart on this screen now, seeing it flat, what you're looking at, this one simple example of a chart I've made, you could also imagine this being 3D. Could you imagine this as a turnable thing? Let's say, for example, if you're looking at one square now, then what about if you could turn that square around in 360 degrees, and it becomes, you could turn this whole thing into like a Rubik's Cube graph, and it could be like every cube within the Rubik's Cube could be a Rubik's Cube. You know what I'm talking about, those cubes? So basically you can look at it like that. You can also do other flowing, there's different kinds of charts out there you can look into too, and I advise you to do that. But you can also, you could do that, work home safety, your own safety protection, ways of self-defense, ways to work out languages, make your own charts and plans, or to complement your other plans and stuff you might do, or work them in a way that you can work your mind so that you're able to learn better. And so you're using these charts to help you with your learning, and that's good for students, right? Anyway, it could be used to save time. Organisation definitely saves time. You may come up with new ones every day. You can just check them every day. Things like that. You can put them on the wall if you wanna. You could make new ones, or you see what I'm saying. So you could go really, really deep. You could go in a flowing kind of way also, like yin and yang, or yin yang, where things seem to flow or reflect from each other or show the opposites, and work in a way like that and try to find balance. You can use these in those kind of ways. So I'm giving you lots of ideas here, which are very, very, so much is just infinite, really. You could make a chart for weapons training if you were trained in certain weapons, or or skills. It could be, whatever. If you were a soldier, let's say, you could use this for medical, planning, or whatever it could be. It could be anything. Your friends, or the fallouts you've had recently, and or what someone said. You could study people. You could be really tactical and study your situation at work, your friends, what so and so said, or what might be around the corner. It could be a possibilities chart. It could be what could possibly happen if such a thing were to happen. Be realistic and look at it in terms of your life. Look at other people's problems. You may not know. You may be able to work things out early on. You may be able to help yourself by looking at various possibilities with a chart like this, and working out what you'd like to do, and working out what would be better and what would be worse actions for you to take in possible situations. And then you may even, by doing this, you're training yourself to be more wise too, and at the same time reading other information, what's out there from the world around you, and taking notes of that, things like that, and using this using your own charts, and in a collaboration, or together with other things you might use, softwares and things. And then all this might help you to be so much more organised, and you'll be able to even surprise people. You'll be able to think faster. Your mind will be able to think faster, and you'll be able to even read people and probably help people and surprise people, and they'll think you're smart, because you'll be able to work out where their lives are at, and you use this to study other people's lives too. So this is just absolutely awesome the way I see it. It's like so simple. This is something so old, Charts have been around for years and years, but this is really a way of organising things. But the thing is, with charts, though, it's still like simplicity. It's simple, because you can get really lost. It's like someone who's writing a novel could get lost in one chapter. It could get so deep, even in the planning, and then they end up like making it. It becomes like deeper than the whole novel in itself. So it's like with a chart like this, you could get really, really deep and find yourself getting really, really lost. And so you're writing simple words or simple sentences or questions, simple points within each box, that even in the branches that branch out from this. So, but it's great. It really, really is. And I'll be talking about more stuff on this and giving little examples and stuff too as we go along. But this is one thing, So you could talk about what needs to be learned, what you've learned already. You could make different charts for different things, and they don't have to be complicated. They could be really simple. You may have 3 or 4 different charts up on your wall or somewhere on the computer that you frequently refer to or look at that could help guide you in such a way in your life and steer you and keep you on track, and you'll be wise to do so. And and then looking at how other people write charts and listening to other people's ideas too. As I was saying though, you could go really, really deep. You could, as I say, make each branch itself be like a whole chart, or it could be a whole file, let's say, of written information. It could be like a whole novel, like a whole mass of knowledge and information there. But, what we're trying to do though, the whole point of using these charts, or one possible way, is to get things simple as such that you can see more clearly and put things in perspective, so that you can work more complicated things. This is supposed to be like a simple method of growing your imagination, giving you more ideas, enriching your thoughts and your vision, and letting you plan better so you can make more. So that's what it is. It's not, you know what I mean? Like you could spend, forever making a chart that never ends, and you could have done something else, without that. You could have written a short story. These are not something that have to be used, but it's just a point, just something. For example, I'm saying, if you were a teacher, let's say, for example, like I am in a university, but if you're a teacher, let's say, you can use something like this to plan your classes and how you're teaching, and then give advice, give examples to your students too. You could be a speech giver. You could be giving speeches or lectures or something like that. Whoever you are, this can help you. This kind of thing. So where I see it, or for me, I feel, and so you could use something like this. Let's say you could be teaching something, showing all aspects of something, anything in particular. And you could use a chart like this to plan and organise how you're going to teach a class. If you're a teacher, let's say, which parts first and how they interrelate, and then you can organise yourself better. Even just organise yourself better on how you're going to explain something, or say even if you're going to make a video, like I'm making a video now talking here, let's say you can organise how you're going to do that better. You know what I mean? If you're going to make a whole curriculum of study of something, martial arts, whatever, cooking, music, whatever it's going to be, you could use something like this. And the films, if you were someone like a great director or a writer for like a film or TV series like The Walking Dead or something, you could be planning out how those characters are going to interrelate later on, what's going to happen, and this is something that's absolutely awesome. Also, you could make a chart. I'm getting infinite ideas as I'm speaking now. It's like so much I can't catch up with my words. You see, it's like you could make a chart for different softwares. Let's say you're someone who's very creative, like I try to be. You could take notes down of which softwares are good and how you could use them to relate with each other, figure out the problems. That's a good thing in life too, because we find so many problems, which are challenges, and you can look at possible ways to overcome these things and organise yourself better. You could use this for numbers, money, anything, your attitudes towards basically absolutely anything. Shops in the high street, where's best to buy this from or buy that, online information, you could use this for anything. Any survival tips, or being out, if you were out in nature for survival, different methods. You could plan this if you were going to make a plan, if you were some ninjas, or if you were a tribe of people and you wanted to travel across the Amazon rainforest, or how to get into the castle, I'm saying, or soldiers, you could work tactics out from this. You see what I'm trying to say? If you're a business trying to do well, you can work with charts like this, but you don't need me to tell you something like this, because people are doing that anyway. But you see what I'm saying though? But if you want to balance things out, if you want to if you're making a portfolio, you might be a photographer, you might be someone working for TV, you might be a journalist, you might be someone writing for magazines, you might be a filmmaker, a photographer, a musician making albums, and you want to do something different now, but you want to balance the whole thing out because you're realising things are looking kind of like dull or straight, and you're trying to work out, or new characters for some comic book or a movie, whatever you're making, and you could try and work out how to where your problems are. You can see it, right, this thing's not working, why, you know? And then it might be so complicated. Sometimes you don't know why things aren't working or things are going wrong in your life or in your creations, and then you start asking yourself why. You know, what's the problem? And you can't see it. I said, well, I'm not happy, this isn't working, and then you ask yourself, you take certain aspects, you take one thing, because sometimes problems are made up of multiple problems. Your life is made up of multiple this and that, right? So you take something and then look at that, which could be one branch, you know, from, let's say if you're not happy today and you want to turn your life around and become more healthy and happy. Or let's say if you're someone you love's not happy, or you could speak to them and ask them questions. You could become a psychiatrist, and I'm just joking. But in reality terms, you could help someone better their life too. You can use this to help people. You could do this in secret, or you could do it in public with the person, letting them know, to show them this way of organisation to help them, to get them back on track. You could be motivational, inspire people. You could be a nurse or a doctor in a hospital or a children's ward, helping people with this kind of thing, showing people what they're capable of and showing them, working over time. You could use this in a calendar type way and showing people the actual facts of what has been done this year. You could have 3, you could have 1, what's been done, what we're doing now currently, and what's yet to be done. And you can list and write down the actual and take note of what has actually been done to keep it real and complemented, and then make videos or photos, post things like this. You could do it on your Instagram, your Facebook, YouTube, whatever you use online, Twitter, things like this, and then spread the word of this kind of creation. You can do this. So this is something you don't need to spend a lot of time on. You can do a bit each day. You might come up with new ideas while you're at work, or like later on when you come home, and you sleep on it. The next night you'll wake up and you'll feel better. Okay, you have you have like more ideas. You might want to change something. So again, you know, using something like this, you could actually do that. You could write down and let someone see, you know, get their life organised better. If someone was unhappy, let's say, and I was saying someone else you know might be unhappy, and you want to do good and cheer them up. It might be someone you love, you know. It might be yourself. If you're not happy and you think, why? What are the problems in my life? And you just write down those problems around in the surrounding boxes or bubbles, saying what they are. And then you go into each one and say, what are the causes of these? What are the effects? Look at the effects too. Are they really that bad? And which ones are literally affecting you directly? Is it, you know, for your health and this or that? Some of it's just in your mind. What could you do? You could make another you could even make another chart with alternatives to the way I'm living now. You know, alternative lifestyle, alternative, you know, whatever actions, you know, or solutions to the problem, rather than dealing with problems or worrying about them if it's not necessary. You know, you have to work out for yourself too, and not lie to yourself. Forgive yourself for mistakes, always, as I say. But you could like literally work some different alternatives and try them out, and try a few different things out. Okay, this week I'm going to read a book or something, or, you know, for the next couple of months I'm going to do something, or plan places where you're going to go. You could plan your holidays, what things need to be planned in advance. You could write down that. You could plan out the money, how you're going to save money, or what else you're going to do this or that. How you're going to deal with people, how you're going to, you know, deal with what could be or what couldn't be. Why couldn't it be? Why could it be? You could take. I might be speaking a lot here, but it's just infinite, you know. But I'm just saying that you think for yourself. I'm just giving you some examples here. You could, as I say, plan your holidays, plan of where you want to go and what you want to do, or in this lifetime, or in the next 10 years, or in the next year. You know, what happened today, what someone said, the terrible things you see around you in your life, or online, or around you in the real world, close or far, or memories from the past. You can learn and study from what's around you and how to do right and do positive and fix your life, get it in order. You know, foods you want to try learning to cook, as I've said before, you know, things like that. Information, whatever it might be, you know, tips you've had from someone else on how to get through that video game, you know, organised topics that you might want to make for like videos for yourself online to spread the word of like creation and communication. Basically, this thing is infinite. You can also for comparing things. I was going to say like shops or like hardware, software, items, comparing what's better. Attitudes. You can make a whole thing about attitudes. And then any topic you can think of, you know, love, hate, deception, greed, whatever it could be, honesty, you know, what's that? cleaning yourself out in your mind. You can make it proper Zen-like, you know, yin yang, all that balance in it. You can make two. You can make a positive one and a negative one, or you can make one with both to find the truth. You know, find what's there to be done. You know. So I'm speaking kind of retarded here, trying to work out what I'm saying while I'm thinking. My words and my thoughts are like trying to catch up with me, trying to hear while I'm doing this. And you may find out that your chart is just not big enough, or it needs to, you know, it could do it a different way. But, you know, another thing I want to say before I go, I'm not going to go too deep in this one. Another thing you could do, okay, it could be house maintenance, you know, anything. Before I go, you know, maintenance of your equipment, you know, cleaning those binoculars before you go out on a journey. You know what I mean? Sharpening that knife up, you know, thing like cutting down the weeds going through, you know, but it's in the forest, the rainforest. So, you know, another thing I want to say though is that sometimes you could have things like where your chart simply can't be that big unless you open up another page, which you could do on a computer or have separate sheets. If it's not too big, like to put on a wall or even on the computer, then you're going to have to separate into separate charts. Or another thing you can do is take your subtopics, which are like right at the edge of the page, and if you can't click into them like files and open them, then they're going to have to be separate charts. So they're going to have to be, you know what I'm saying, each like mini box, each sub chart. So each a sub branch from a branch from a branch from a branch, whatever. The last ones, if you can't spread out any further, or if you feel it's like too big, then what you're going to have to do is make that the title of another thing, of another chart. That's the best advice I can give you, and then start another chart. So as I've said, each branch, as I'm saying, each little box branching out here, or bubble, can be a whole topic in itself. The beginning, the seed of a whole new Amazon rainforest. You know what I mean? For example, you know what I'm trying to say here? It grows out and spreads out like a disease. No, I mean like something good, right? Disease is a negative, you know, taken away. We're trying to be creative and productive. But again, you can still make from whatever to study whatever. And again, you can still make charts for positivity, and you can still make charts for like this, and diagrams and charts like this for studying to make more or take away more. You may have too much this or that, too much pressure in your life, or too much of this that. How can you cut that down more? Oh, you know, it's not easy as you think, but it is easy. It is as easy as you think if you can work it out, you know, for yourself. So thanks for watching. This is a very deep video. I'm going to stop this here. Thanks for watching, okay? This is about charts, okay, like this. Spidergrams and charts. Keep it real, okay? Train on, stay safe. Organise your life more. And if you're doing it, it could be anything, don't forget. You can cleaning up, you know, housework, or work around the house, you know, you know, it could be anything, you know. So for me, I'm gonna be using this now as definitely for planning my life better, and also these kind of charts for planning my scripts and my writings more, because I like to write my own stories, and as I said, I like to make my own cartoons. So I'll be using these, you know, to help me. You know, it can be a lot of fun, and it really is fun. Nothing is less fun, you know, than when you feel confused and your mind's cluttered up, or you just blank and you just sit there and you don't know what to do. So if you've got writer's block or liver's block, you're living in life, you're trying to work imagination block, mind block, this is something that can help you clean it up. And then when you are, as I say, this is another thing, when you do feel totally blocked or exhausted, put that to the side and then do something else, refresh yourself, and come back to it later, or make another plan. And if your whole chart is something wrong with it, and you're just feeling you're kind of exhausted in your mind, then you can make a chart to start for that chart, to actually fix that, to become like the mechanic of that car, which is, you know, going to take you far. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? Charts for charts, and charts for parts of charts. This is epic, you know. The knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. I think like that, the skeleton of it all, you know. And what's connected to what in relation to what, and how to. It's just epic. Train hard and stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, I could do charts like this on any number of topics, infinite for videos, and talk about that with you. And a good thing that lets people see, not only yourself but others, it lets others see also clearly what you're saying. So if you're a teacher, again, I think this is a good thing that could be used in a classroom too sometimes, to give students a better idea. But one thing you don't want to do is get too complicated when you explain to other people, because it's personal, it's for you. It's like when you watch a good movie, or when you've read a good novel, or you watched a good movie, you've enjoyed that experience. It's been deep. But believe me, a lot of planning has been done in it, and you don't need. I'm not saying I know everything, but there's many methods of planning, and much better than what I'm talking about here even. But I'm just saying, there's charts like this and plans that are done, and people. I'm not, a professional, proper writer like some people. I do it in my own way. I'm just saying, people have planned this stuff out behind the scenes, like making really good films, let's say, or writing novels, and plans similar to this in some way, where each part has been planned in detail. We're branching out and getting like the snowflake principle they call it, where it gets more complicated as it branches out. But it's all connected together and it all flows naturally in a way that makes sense. And you have to know when to stop and shut up like me now. You have to know when to stop it and and say, well, this is one area. It's like, when they make like computer games, let's say like the new Zelda games and that what you get coming out and stuff, computer games, I love my computer games. The same thing. They've been planning so hard on an area, let's say, within the game, on a massive map, and they have to work out each area and how it all connects and with the story. It's a lot of fun. And if you believe me, if you've never tried it, it's like anything. You'll feel lazy and you'll feel it's hard, like any set of routine, physical exercise or mind, anything like that. But it's like, in life, if you do something like this, it will inspire you, and later on you'll know what it's all about, and you'll feel better when doing it, and you'll want to do more, and it'll be great fun. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll make more videos in the future. Okay, train hard and stay safe. As I say, make more videos on this subject in the future. I would love to see some of your charts too, and do be creative like that. I think it's a great thing to do, for your life. Thanks for watching this video. It's been a long one.